Okay, so yesterday when we were talking about quantitative, qualitative, I mentioned that quantitative was going to be either discrete or continuous. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, discrete or continuous, right? Once again, I left the space in there so you guys can write what you need to write. Now, discrete, both of them, again, are quantitative. So quantity means numbers. Now, the discrete are basically data that results of counting. All right, so we're quantitative discrete data is data that results from counting. Now imagine I ask you guys to start counting. Start counting right now. Your number's probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You start counting, right? Count how many windows you have in your house. Count how many siblings do you have. Count how many friends do you have. Again, you may have 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of you actually started at 0. Some of your results might be 0. Right? How many siblings do you have? Some of you might even say 0. Discrete are whole numbers, right? Numbers are result from counting. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This data take on only certain numerical values. Right? If you count the number of phone calls that you receive in one day or 1 week, it could be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So discrete, we're looking at whole numbers. Again, whole numbers, so I am including 0. I'm not including decimals. I'm not including fractions. It's just discrete or whole numbers. Now, continuous is basically data that are not made up of just counting numbers. So this, I might be looking at fractions. I might be looking at decimals. I might be looking at irrational numbers. So those is what we call quantitative continuous data. Discrete and continuous, again, both of them are quantitative, so quantity, numbers, but discrete are whole numbers, and continuous, I'm looking at decimals. Okay, so let's take a look. Determine the correct data type, is quantitative or qualitative. So I'm going to be looking at quantitative or qualitative. Indicate whether quantitative data is continuous or discrete. So going back to what we said yesterday, qualitative, quantitative. So if it is qualitative, remember qualitative, I can separate it into groups, not numbers, groups. Quantitative are numbers, but quantitative could be discrete or it could be continuous. Okay, so data, a hint, data that describe often start with the words the number of, that is discrete data. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at a few examples. The number of pairs of shoes you own. Okay. I'm not gonna think that's qualitative because I'm asking for the number of pairs. So it has to be quantitative because number of pair of shoes. Now, can I own half of a shoe? Can I own when I count the number of pairs of shoes that I own, can I get my answer as a decimal answer? Not quite. So in this case would be quantitative discrete. So again, if it is qualitative, just qualitative. If it is quantitative, I want quantitative discrete or quantitative continuous. Okay, the type of car you drive. So let's assume you all drive. The type of car you drive. Can you answer this as a number? The type of car you drive. Can you answer that as a number? Keep in mind I said type. The type of car you drive. No, we cannot answer as a number. So in that case, it's qualitative. The distance it is from your home to the nearest grocery store. Okay, now this one honestly could be either one. If I could go qualitative, because I can say the distance is I'm to the nearest store, I'm far, I'm near, right? I'm separated into categories. So that would be qualitative, but it could be quantitative as well. The distance it is from your home to the grocery store. Now, because on quantitative, can I answer that in decimals or fractions? All right, in your case, to the nearest grocery store. If you want to, let's look at this as miles. Are you like 1 mile away, 2 miles away? Could it be a decimal? Could you be like 1.2 miles away? Okay, so I can answer it in decimals. So it will be quantitative continuous. Okay, the number of classes you take per school year. The number of classes. Can I take half a class? Can I answer this as a decimal? Because it's a number, so can I answer this as a decimal? Not quite. So it would be quantitative discrete. Right? Quantitative discrete is a number, but not as a decimal. Quantitative continuous is an answer that I can give it as a number and I can give it as a decimal. Okay, the type of calculator you use. I know the calculators have names with numbers. There's a TI-30X. There's a number in the title, but that type of a calculator I'm gonna have to say is qualitative. Because there's also the TI Inspire, right? That's not a number. The 30X, when I say that I have a TI 30X, 30 is just a name. It's not really a number. I don't have a TI1. I don't have a TI2. TI 30X is just a name. So even though my answer has a number, the type of calculator I use will have to be qualitative. The weight of sumo wrestler. Okay, so when I measure the weight, usually comes in as a number. So that'll be quantitative. Now my question is quantitative discrete, quantitative continuous. Quantitative discrete is my answer can only be whole numbers. Quantitative continuous, my answer can be as a decimal. Now, if you get on the scale, you measure weight, it might say we weight, well, in this case, sumo wrestler, my weight, what is 300 pounds, 400 pounds? Can I get an answer as a decimal? Can a person weigh 300.2 pounds? 300.7 pounds? Can I get it as a decimal? Yes. So in that case, it's quantitative continuous. The number of correct answers on the quiz. Okay, number of answers. So it is quantitative. Now my question is quantitative discrete or quantitative continuous? Quantitative discrete is whole numbers. Quantitative continuous is decimals. Number of correct answers on the quiz. Can I get 5.3 questions correct? No. You should get 5 questions or 6 questions correct. So this will be quantitative discrete. Now, IQ scores. This one may actually can cause some discussion if we were in a group. This one could be either or, quantitative or qualitative, right? What's your IQ score? 100. So that's quantitative. 90. What's your IQ score? I scored high. I scored low. You guys take STAR testing. Oh, I classify my number was 6.2. Like, and remember your teachers when they give you STAR testing, they said, well, 6.2 means your 6th grade level, and then like at the very beginning. But my results are decimals, so that could be quantitative. But also they said, oh, you're proficient, you're below proficient, so that could be qualitative. One actually, before we finish this, one last example. Let me give you guys another example. Age. Age. Okay, so that's not qualitative. That's definitely quantitative, but age. If I get two people, let's say two people that have 15 years of age, more likely one of them is older than the other, right? My question, because I'm going on age. Age of a person, is that quantitative continuous or quantitative discrete? Age. I know when we speak, we usually say I have 15 years of age. I have 16 years of age. I have 17. We usually just say a numbered. However, age is continuous, right? Because 15 years of age, I didn't just turn 15 today. Probably I turned 15 6 months ago. So I'm 15.5 years of age. All right. I turned 15 3 months ago. So I'm 15.25 years of age. When we speak, we just don't say the decimal, but age, it is quantitative continuous.